What's up, everybody? Happy New Year to anybody who's watching, which is probably not a lot of people, which is perfectly fine because I'm going to continue doing these live streams. Happy New Year. I hope everybody had an amazing holidays with their family. Hope everything is looking up for you. But with that being said, it's a new year, so we're going to continue struggling through coding in this new year. So if you're in the chat, say hello. If not, that's okay too. Also, I don't know what's been happening with my setup here. Sometimes my camera freezes. If that's the case, you don't have to go anywhere. I just got to plug one thing and unplug one thing. I don't know. I have to figure it out. I'm kind of like not sure why things are happening. But hello, 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 and welcome. This is Coffee Code and Chat. I'm coding after 30. Some random dude who's still trying to learn to code, I guess. But we have a lot of fun. Friday nights is a lot about coding, what I'm building, and mistakes I'm making. And today we're going to talk about like a really huge mistake, why my code is a mess. And I'll talk about it, why the reason for that is. Because of course I have to make a reason and be like, hey, I planned it. No, I didn't plan it. I just messed up. But let me get some coffee, because you can't have Coffee Code and Chat without coffee. And if the music is too loud, I'll tune it down in a bit. But welcome. How's everybody doing? It's 2023. I definitely feel it. Somebody told me I should switch my channel name to something else. Instead of coding after 30, it should be like coding close to 50, I guess. I don't know. But we're gonna have a fun night. I keep saying that every time I stream. Is it true? Is it true? Are we always gonna have a fun night? And it depends. A lot of times we fail on the stream. It's pretty normal. Engine Boy's here saying Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. I know you've been really busy at work. I hope that's going good. I know you got a new role going on. It's cool, but totally, you know, with new roles comes new responsibilities and a lot of like hustling and bustling. But man, glad that you're able to join geriatric coding. Listen, I need to look up geriatric first, but Nick, great to have you here on stream. Fantastic. Always fun to have people. So I've been building this project that I kind of started like, oh my God, without thinking about it at all. I just started coding. I didn't do any planning. And last weekend, or 2 weekends ago, I should say, I had a guest on, George, who talked about the importance of planning the project. Man, I got like food stuck to it. Man, I'm not prepared. I'm not starting the New Year's right. What up, pimp? Man, straight up, seriously, that's representing here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what I'm saying, to be honest. But hey, I've been working on this project, and because I wanted to get something done, and I made changes, some good changes, some bad changes. So first thing I'm going to do is just kind of show off the projects a bit. Let's talk about it. And any moment, anytime in the chat, say hello, say what's up. Listen, if you're kind of like, hey, I'm not sure if I want to say anything, it's okay. Do you think I know what I'm doing? I just fake it till you make it, right? Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good strategy either. But man, what? I got to log into my YouTube and I don't even have my phone on me. God, Lord, listen, I'm just going to trust people are watching the stream and putting comments. No, I see your comments. I see your comments coming up. It's all good in the neighborhood. So we hang out, having a good time, talking about projects I'm building. So I had this great idea, and if the audio is too loud for the music, let me know. I'll tune it down a tiny bit. I've building this project. So there is a way to have a landing page, but I don't have one going right now, but I'll go like switch screens here. So this is my project. There should be a landing page here. It works. I just deleted it. Why not? We have about section, we have resources, where you're able to, right now it's hard-coded, but you'll be able to see some cool resources and all this other great stuff. Then you'll be able to go to projects. Now, like the new feature we have, you could follow and unfollow projects. For instance, here I am following these two projects. And so when I go to dashboard, I'm able to go into this follow section that I now have, and I'm able to see the projects that I'm following, which is kind of cool, right? And what you could do is you could unfollow a project. Like, check this out. I unfollow one. Not only does it make a change here, but if I go back to my projects, you notice that one of the check marks is done. So I kind of like that, that it knows. And by the way, if you're not logged in, right? If I'm not licked in, logged in. You go into here, like it's not going to show anything. So if I want to follow a project, I click the thing. You first have to log in. It does it through GitHub, which is pretty exciting. So I click login and it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Because this is not login button, Paul. This is big button right here that says login with GitHub. That's the one you should click. Log in with GitHub and it logs you in. So now when I go back to the project, so in order to follow people, you need to be logged in, which you could do as a GitHub, just with your GitHub. So here I follow that project, I unfollow that one, which is kind of cool. And so I'll keep both followed. Now for the following projects, you could see like, you know, the project, basic info. Again, they didn't fill it in right now. Just, you should be able to see the tasks for that project. When you're following a project, you should be able to view the task. And I'm gonna change the not allow people who are following change the task name or the description, but you'll be able to say if it's done or not or whatever, but we'll do that later. You should also be able to see comments for the project, and comments work now. Again, don't worry about if it's not styled too pretty. Who cares? I'll figure this out. But this is where we at. You're able to go to dashboard. You could, of course, on pin projects too, you have the pin view. That's cool. You could edit your project now. Dev on project is awesome. If I knew how to spell awesome, but whatever, you could hit update. You could even update the image and it will change the project. So check this out. So update functionality works. You're able to add notes, right? This is a note. Let's say it's pending. So we have a bunch of functionality and it kind of looks like I'm making progress, right? It kind of looks like we have notes. Yeah, it looks ugly. I have to make this big, like better size. I think the difference is, yeah, well, it's fine. Like it's something with responsive CSS I have to fix, which will I do? But you could actually add notes. And what's awesome, well, I'm editing a note. Let me delete it. Let me add a new note. And you add your note in Markdown. So this is Markdown. Hello. You know, sup, whatever. You could add your notes on Markdown. You could hit this preview button to preview what it looks like. And I have to style this, of course, but I'm able to add the note and I'm able to edit the note. You could delete the note like I showed you. Next thing I'm going to work on is, well, comments kind of works, right? Here's a comment. So that's nice. Next thing I want to work on having requests. So you could request to basically when you go to tasks, you'll be able to have a icon here where it says request to work on a task. So if I created some tasks, right? Whatever, I just create this task. You'll be, as the person who's like following, right? You'll be able to go see the tasks and there's going to be this thing you could be like request to work on the task. So if you wanted to team work together with somebody, it's awesome. And so we got that working, comments working, dashboard working, projects getting there, following sections getting there. So I'm making progress, right? It looks like stuff is happening. Here's the problem. The problem is, and let me just look at the comments here while we're getting people jumping in, and we'll talk about the problem here. But Nick says, show me Nick's comments. I just started using Next.js. I found that it helps me stay way organized. Do you use it when you work with React? Next.js is awesome. I'm really on the Remix bandwagon. So similar to Next, I like it better than Next.js. But if you're looking to get hired, I would say learn React, learn Next.js. Save Remix for later. Just Next.js is more popular, but Remix is my favorite React framework at the moment. It's pretty awesome. And yes, Engine Boy, bunch of rocket ships that are going to crash back down and explode my project. I really appreciate it. And then my project is a mess from Luke. Yeah. And so, yeah, my project is a mess for one big reason, is because when I started this project, I did not plan it. And so I ended up doing a lot of like stuff in my code that started not to make sense. And one example here, if I log out, initially, let me go switch to share screen. Initially, for this login functionality, I had a form, right? You needed to put your first name, your last name, your email, your GitHub. It was a huge form, and I changed that. But when I had that form, I had this concept of creating a user that's tied to an author. And if we look at my backend, and if it doesn't make any sense, ask questions. But I have users, right? You have users. Users have their basic information. But then I also made association with author. Why? I don't know, right? I didn't think through it. If it made more sense to have all the, like, you could have a user, the user could have a role, and it could be author, right? I could use roles instead of having another whole data structure or relationship. And instead of having this data that I have the first name, last name, GitHub username, and avatar, instead of having it in the author and then having a relationship to the user, I should have just done it in the user. And then when I wrote this code, let's see, is this the back end? Let me see here. I think this is the back end. Is it? Yeah, it's the back end. So I need to go to node modules because I actually overrode node modules because I wanted to add some additional functionality. We used patch package. And so because I didn't think right from the beginning of how I wanted to handle this, I kind of started one way and then halfway through changed it to another way. And that's the big mess that you get, is that if you don't plan your projects, that's what's going to happen. Alex says, woo woo. That's terrible. That made me sound so beta, which I'm not. I don't know. I don't even know what beta and alpha means. It's like alpha, beta, master, beta. I get. I don't know. Whatever. Wake up. What's up, everybody? I thought you said wake up, everybody. That's how I feel. You know, wake up, everybody. What's up, everybody? It's all different. But anyway, I made the changes to inside Strapi and plugin user permissions under server. And we go into controllers, and I modified the living bejesus out of my controller. I think it's auth.js. I think it's this one. So yeah, I made, like, I have this create author function. I added all this additional validation when you create a user to add additional data. And now things are different because I'm not using the old way. I'm using the GitHub provider. And so there's a bunch of stuff that I did before that I didn't have to do. So now what I need to do, because I didn't plan stuff, I didn't organize the idea, I didn't figure things out, what ended up happening is I basically have to go backwards to move forwards. Aifa is like a big wolf boss that gets all the wolf females. Betas are the other wolves dreaming about being him. Listen, I am, it's, you know, master beta. That's exactly what I'm saying. Exactly. I'm the master of all the betas and whatever. You know, we got ridiculous here. I don't mean no disrespect to any of you people out there. If you identify with one or the other, I identify with everything. You know, I love everybody just the same. If you're a good person, you're a good person. If you're a bad person, you're a bad person. Those are like the two things I see, basically. But my policy being nice to people is like, the nicer you are to people, the less they make fun of your terrible code. And so the idea that we were talking about is now what I have to do in my super cool projects where I made like a lot of good progress, right? There, it's got functionality, but I'm going to have to go back and start refactoring. So talked about that author user relationship that I did. Guess what? My following, my projects, my dashboard, like it all counts on that being there. And so a lot of it gets that user data and gets that author data that I'm using in my application to make sure, oh, make sure you show the author's avatar, make sure you show the author's name. So now, because I didn't plan the right way, I need to go back and I need to refactor, which is going to introduce breaking changes. And I'm literally going to have to rewrite code pretty much like in many places, which is annoying. And so this is the mistake. And I kind of wanted, by the way, when I started building this project, I didn't think it was going to be anything, right? I was like, you know, I'll give it a try. I'll see how far I could get. I'll just kind of willy-nilly it. And that's exactly what I'm paying for. The price now is willy-nilling it, because now it's going to be massive refactor. And so even though I have these cool features that work, and I'm not saying it's a complete waste of time because I learned how to do certain things, but now I got to go back and refactor. So to kind of talk a little bit more about it, if you go to Coding After 30 channel, I'll 30, I'll throw it in the chat for you. But we had an amazing stream with George and it was a live stream. I'll put the link. Yeah, this stream right here was freaking amazing. And it's about how to plan your project, right? And he like literally shows you what first steps you should take before hitting the code. And this is something I didn't do. So I'll go ahead and share it with you in the chat here, just so people are like, hey, yeah, put it in the chat. I'm gonna put it up, my synonym, my stupid brain character. I don't know who that is. That can't be me that shared that video. That's some other idiot. That's like my trolling synonym. I think that's what you call when you have a name. Yeah, and George was fantastic for sure. I'm assuming that's who you're referring. And so I put that link there. So talking about like making sure that you plan your thing. And so here he's kind of showing, you know, break it down into the things you're going to do. I don't know how he did these X and errors, but I'm gonna try to use the mirror as cool as he. And so the idea is now is for me to take a step back and focus on planning a little bit more. And so, yeah. And so I'll show you what your mistake is. You say, I keep Googling how to plan better, hoping I'll get it faster. So you're doing the wrong thing, my man. We're in 2023 now, my man. We got to go into GPT-3. I don't even work anymore. I literally just GPT-3 everything. To be honest, that's what I do. How to plan a web development project. And see, that's it right here. That's all you need to know. Define the scope and goals of the project. What do you want to build and why, right? I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Right? And so that was my first mistake. Research and gather information, look at similar websites and gather ideas to determine technology platforms that you will be used. Well, I did that step. I looked at what's out there. You know, so far ChatGPT-3 is giving me some good suggestions. And Marty Dixon says, thank you for sharing your journey with us as an older aspiring program. Find your content and John's inspiring. Well, thank you so much. Again, I am some random dude. I'm literally going to be turning 43 soon. And I'm just pretending like I'm not, and I'm just doing my best that I can. And I'm putting all my imperfections out there for people to be like, hey, this is okay. It's okay to mess up because it's learning. As long as you're learning from your mistakes, it's good. If you're making same mistakes, and it is what it is. So, and Elon Musk is soon going to make GPT-3 paid. It's already paid. If you want to use their API in your apps, you have to have a paid plan. Which is crazy. I think they should have a free version for sure. I don't think they should take AI and put it behind a paywall. But based on what I hear is that it is very expensive in terms of running all the algorithms, all that other crazy stuff that happens behind the scene. So it's not a cheap technology. That's part of the reason why the adaptation of it's not going to be as for everybody, because it's expensive. So every service that uses AI in the backend, they do have some sort of monthly subscription. But this is the thing I'm going to say. If you're able to afford it and it helps you do things more efficiently at your job, I would justify the price. My only argument would be if people live in certain countries where the income is not the same, they should price it accordingly, because I really think that GPT-3, if it doesn't have a free tier, should have a paid tier that scales based on the region that you live. So if you're only making like $5 a week, you should still be able to afford AI. I don't think people should be blocked away from it. But anyway, let's take a look. Then create a project timeline, break the project down to smaller tasks and estimate the time needed to complete each one. Determine the resources, people, budget. This is another thing I didn't do while planning this project. I just started randomly coding, tried to think this may happen. Design the user experience, create wireframes and mockups, and visualize the layout and the flow of the site. Also did not do that. And you don't have to do a complete crazy thing, but you could like do a basic mockup. Next, develop the website, use chosen technology platform to build the site according to design and specification. Yep, test and debug. Yeah, definitely something that I should. Another thing I want to talk about. So a lot of people ask me, when should I learn to test code, testing code? When should I do it? When should I do it? And so if you're learning to code and you don't know how to build your own projects yet, you're not applying to jobs, you're not getting interviews, you're not like you don't have a portfolio, don't worry about testing. Testing is something that you will need once you start working. And a lot of times you'll learn that as a junior developer. And in my case, for this project is getting kind of like a little bit out of control, and I find myself manually retesting things. So now like I should consider doing like some sort of testing, which we're going to talk about and do. And good thing is, by the way, is to have GPT-3 write tests for you, and we're going to give it a try today. I'm just writing tests on my side projects. Nice. That's pretty cool. And they suck. Yeah, I get it. Another fun part. That's why GPT-3 should be used to write your tests, which I'm going to do. Actually, this is kind of interesting. We're going to figure it out. We're going to take a look. Launch the side project, I make live users access it, and blah, blah. Yeah, so GPT-3 gave us a good idea. So the idea is, it's like we want to start planning our project. And so I'm taking a step back, and I want to first like outline what should people be able to do, like in general. I'll do like, you know, what should my project be able to do? And so yeah, I code a lot of my project. I'm going to have to go and do a lot of like refactoring and stuff. Yeah, and talking about can't write blah blah, something about can't write your test unless you give him your code, and I don't just trust it with that much, and stuff about Vitus. Awesome, I guess. You could probably ask GPT-3 to do it also, but to be honest, like testing is only apparent like if you're not working out a job, don't worry about testing. There's more other important appropriate things to do. On tomorrow's stream, I'm going to talk about what would I talk about or learn if I were to get into web development today, what tech I would learn and what would be my path. I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. So yeah, my project is a mess. Instead of me writing like more code that I wrote a lot already, we have a lot of front-end code, and it's not a complete waste. But what I'm going to tell everybody is that you need to plan, you know, and so maybe you start with requirements, and I'm going to do this willy-nilly because right now it's a mess. So what should, you know, you should be able to do on my project? You should be able to see people's public projects, right? And let me zoom in a little bit here. Should be able to see public projects. Like, so whenever you land on the page, you should at least be able to see. You should have a login. And some of this stuff I already built, but it's okay. Sign up page. You should be able to sign up via GitHub, right? Once you sign up, you should have a dashboard. And in the dashboard, you should have projects view, where you should see a list of your projects. I can't spell. Projects. And then you should have a project detail view, right? And then you should be able to have create project view. I'm just putting general ideas. Some of the stuff I already did, but the idea is like, you want to make sure that you are planning ahead. And the point is, if I would have done this ahead of time, this would have been much easier. So you should be able to see create project view. You should be able to create a project, edit a project, mark as public or private. And what else we should need in our dashboard? We should have a profile page. Profile page where you should be able to add first and last name, edit email and username, and should be able to change password, but I'll add that later. I'm not actually, we don't need that because we log in with upload avatar image, and then update avatar image, and you should be able to write a bio, create update bio. And so this is going to be, for my refactor, this is what I'm going to be focusing on. So I know I did a lot of work, but because I didn't plan too much, I didn't plan at all. So I literally tried to build this from the top of my head. And what happens is, like, you'll get a good idea, you'll make some progress, and then you change your idea, you go back, and then you make the changes, and now the previous code you wrote, you might have to refactor. So the point why my project is a mess, and I was going to do it as a throwaway project, but now I like it so much, I want to actually make it something good and useful. And I should have listened to that inner voice on my shoulder that says, Paul, plan your project slowly, piece by piece, and make it happen. So that's something I should have done. And so today I'm kind of going to roughen that planning process. So we identified the basic things that our project needs to do. And so taking a look at where we are. By the way, if you haven't smashed the like button, I don't know why you should, but smash it for the people in the chat. And say, if you want to, say whatever crazy stuff in the chat, perfectly fine. And I love that somebody complained, like, why is your chat only for subscribers? Because I want to do these live streams for my subscribers, right? I want it to be special for the people that support the channel. I am going to get back into doing normal videos as well. I also have a random YouTube channel that I do want to share with you. So making videos, like, it really takes a long time. It's like super annoying. And so what I ended up doing for certain topics that I want to research, right? Practical, but I don't really want to make videos for practical web development. Damn, that channel doesn't even show up. It's so, like, not cool. It's okay. Well, practical web development, getting started with Strapi, because I know I made a video around Strapi. So I have this channel here. So what I'm doing, just to kind of put it out there, and you don't have to subscribe to it if you don't want to, but what I'm doing on this particular channel is doing, like, topics like how to write a resume, how to get hired, like, what do you need to know, best tips on learning. Like, I'm doing the research because I'm curious about what those things are. I'm finding good information, but I'm too goddamn lazy to record that video. So I have Ava, like, I have her do the work for me. So it's my AI assistant. Ada will take my notes and she will make a video for me. So this is where I put the stuff that I do want to talk about as reference. I don't have the time to do it now, so I have her do it here. So a lot of this stuff I'm going to just post on this channel. So feel free to follow Practical Web Development. Ava, my AI assistant, is handling the duties there. So that's pretty awesome. So as you can see, I love relying on the newer technologies and stuff like that. But back to planning. So I identified the scope, and to be honest, adding more items to this would be silly. There's no reason for me to add more items. So now, based on this, let's kind of define, like, our views, like, what do we need to make this happen? Is this a sticky note? Oh, cool. You can have sticky notes. I didn't know that. Wow. I could do, look, a sticky note. Oh my God, mirror. It really looks like a sticky note. Jeez. Wow, technology. Yeah. I don't know if you get excited about sticky notes as I do. And so, God damn, that's, what size is that for text? So you should be able to see people's public projects. That means that we need at least 2 places on our website. So we have our main site, right? Main site. And then our main site, based on what we have here, we have we should have the project view where you see all the projects, like the most basic sense. Okay, listen, I'm gonna do landing page because like, let me like, we need a landing page because that's pretty much done. That landing page will be when people land on the site. So right now, if you go to our site here, we have too many things. We have the landing page that's not showing up right now. We should have the project section where you should be able to see the projects. And we should have a login page, which I already created, but I didn't plan this ahead of time. And I found myself that like I have to go back and refactor things. But if I were to do that again, like I would do the right way. I would plan it first. And you don't have to do extreme planning. Notice how we're doing like very basic plans. So we have main site. Our main site should have what, for this functionality that I outlined here, what are like the most basic things we need? So we have the index page, which is going to be our landing page, but I'm going to call it index page. Then we need after index page, we need projects page for people to be able to see their projects. Then we need to have a login page, right, for people to log in. And so now what we could do is we could talk about like take each individual thing. Dude, when George did his demonstration, he had amazing errors. Error. I don't know how the hell did he use this thing to make error? But he made him look so nice. This looks stupid. Like my arrows look dumb. Is there like different variations? There's gotta be. Whatever. I'm gonna use these stupid arrows. I'm fine with that. That's okay. Damn, that looks ugly as hell. No big deal. It doesn't have to be perfect. Oh my God, this is the worst looking thing ever. George made his arrow. Look at this. I don't know how to make arrows look pleasant in mirror. Like, look at this, how dumb that looks. Anyway, this is how professional we are. That's fine. So now, like, our index page, we could duplicate it. We're gonna move it here. Can I change the color? Change the color. How do you change the color? We're gonna change it to a different color. So that color is already taken. For our main page, let's use this one. Index page. So our index page, what does it need to show, right? Well, it should have a menu, right? I'll move it here. What else should it have? I'm going to keep it simple. It should have a hero section. That's it. That's all we want on our index page, right? So that's nice. So on our projects page, let's duplicate this. On our projects page, what do we want to have? We want to have a header section. Duplicate. We want to have list of cards, list of projects. And then we have duplicate, and we want to have project card. And then we want to have a duplicate. We want to have project detail page, which would actually be project page, duplicate, be project detail page, right? Okay, so we know we want that. We want to have that. And so next we have our menu. We have our here section. What menu items will our menu have? Which we'll get to in a second. We'll just do here like this. This is a workflow that I did before for a different project. This is something I should have done. This is another thing you could do is your user, like, let's kind of look at this. This is a while ago I worked on the project, and this is another thing. This is something we're going to do is when your user has interactions, you want to work through the flow, and you will kind of want to understand like how would the user experience work, and you want to plan it out. It doesn't have to be super crazy, but here's an example of a login workflow. And basically it's like, okay, when people hits the login, do they have an account? If they do have an account, do they know their password? If they don't know their password, they go through the reset password process, and then they get back to login, and then they're able to log in. If they don't have an account, they get redirected to registration form, and they have the flow. Once they create their process, they're able to log in. Yes, they have an account now. They know their password. They log in. They get redirected to the project view. So the point is, like, you need to plan this stuff out ahead of time. And this is why my project is a mess right now, because I tried to do it willy-nilly. I didn't do this ahead of time. So we're going to plan on this. And what I'm doing right now, what I'm planning on now, this is going to be my scope until it's done. So I'm going to focus on these things that I add here to do for us to be able to do. So we have project page, we have project. Okay, so next thing, we need login page. Login page is going to have a form, have login form, and I'm gonna do another card here because you want to log in with use GitHub provider. Provider, I can't spell. So that's good. So we know this. Once log in, it will take you to dashboard. We kind of know that. So the next thing we need to have, so we know once somebody logs in, it's going to take him to dashboard. So we should have a duplicate here. We should have a dashboard page to dashboard page. Perfect. Let's make another ugly error. Oh, maybe he was using these errors. I don't know. Let's try it. Maybe he was using this one. Oh, yes. Yes, that's a way better looking arrow. That is a nicer arrow. I'm going to change all my other arrows to look that nicer arrow. I can't say arrows. Arrows, arrow, arrow. Yeah, look at that. That's, yeah, this is better. See, like, live and learn. Like, check this out. That is, I am just being blown away by the arrow drawing skills discovering in Miro. Perfect. So we have index page, we have dashboard page, and then when you land to, so what should we do on the dashboard? We're going to keep it super simple. Duplicate. When you land to the dashboard, we're going to only have, we want to have a side menu, and inside that, let me zoom out. Let me move this. We want to have a side menu, and then the side menu is going to have home link to go back. It's going to then it's going to have a home link. It's going to have projects link. And you know what? We're not going to do projects. It's too much stuff. Home link. And we want to have a profile link where you're able to see your profile information. Profile link. And then that means we also need a profile page. Profile page. And then profile page. Display basic info like username and email, just to keep it simple for now. That's it. And so what I've done now is I created this plan to make stuff happen, and I added some extra stuff. Add your last name, whatever. We'll add more details in the other streams, but for now, at least, now I have a basic outline. And so now, where instead of like willy-nilly for me building this project and kind of guessing what I need to build, even with like not so much detailed like thing, like I know I already built this and I'm gonna have to refactor some stuff. You know, like I know that now at least I have a very, like I have requirements that I need to meet. I have basic idea of the pages that I have to make, and I could now take any one of these individual cards and I could break them into details. I could also talk about the data that we want. And so I could think about that. So, that's another thing. Like, before getting too far in your coding journey, like and I know things will change, but think about your data, right? And so we're going to have user data. And so think about like the most basic things, like what should a user data have, right? And we're going to start with super simple, like user data should have a username, email, and password, right? We're going to add additional fields later. But for this basic idea, this is what we need. We know we're going to have a projects page, which is going to have projects. So what would our project data look like? And again, let's start with the most simplest way, right? And so it's important to, before you get too far in your projects, it's important to get basic ideas. So user data will probably have a user ID as well. User ID. relation to projects, right? And then here are project data. We could start thinking about it, right? And so this is, I believe, very important. Notice how I'm not doing any live coding on the stream where I live code, because this is what I should have done. I should have took the steps to plan this project out better. And if you do have questions in the chat, let me know. Because I would love to answer your questions as well. But if not, that's okay too. And so to all the amazing people watching, I love you so much. If you don't know who I am, I'm some random dude who started learning to code at early age of 36 and a half years old and got hired at the nice age of 39 and a half, almost 40. And so you're watching Coffee Code Chat, where on Friday nights, I stream and I do basically streams about actual technical stuff and coding and the process of coding, showing you what it is, the reality of it. So as a newcomer, so people who are starting out, you don't get too bogged down by it being perfect, because the whole part of coding on your own is you're going to be running into problems constantly, and that's normal. And so, yeah, you're watching Coffee Code Coding After 30. I don't even know my own channel. And you could subscribe if you like, but I'm assuming if you're able to comment, you're a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, you don't have to subscribe. But this is what I do. Friday nights, I stream about code. And then 11 a.m. Saturday, CST, Central Time, I stream talking about things to help you get hired. And tomorrow we're going to talk about my web dev roadmap. What would I learn if I were to do this all over again, and why it's important. But thank you all for jumping in, and let's get back on our discussion of planning. And for any reason, if you have extra money and you don't know what to do with it and you'd like to buy me coffee, you can go ahead and donate to my buy me coffee website. My buy me coffee website, I'm being very obnoxious, and I don't expect, by the way, if you don't have any money, don't give me any money whatsoever. If you like to support this channel just by liking and sharing, you could do that, but don't feel like you have to go out of your way and do stuff. I'm literally doing it as a joke. I made whole $6, which is pretty amazing. And my camera froze, so let me unplug and plug in. It'll be a I broke my whole computer. My whole computer died. It didn't like that at all. Oh my God. That unplugging and plugging back in bit didn't work. We have sound, but we don't have vision. We don't see nothing. My computer froze. It don't let me do anything. You could hear me. Oh my God. Yo. Yeah, I've been having technical difficulties. I'll have to figure out what is happening. Maybe I have too many tabs open or what have you. Let me, I wonder, this is going to be terrible. I'm probably going to lose the stream. I'm going to exit the stream and jump back in again. But I might have to find a different, yeah, my screen is frozen. I might have to find a different like streaming software because this has been annoying me a bit. You need to upgrade to Apple, man. I am using Apple. This is why I'm disappointed. My Apple is broken. My MacBook, yeah, I got an M1 Pro MacBook that's suffering. Let me like try to log in and back out again. See if it's, dude, I broke my computer. This is insane. But the audio is working, which is kind of weird that the camera's not working. Yeah, I got to figure stuff out about what is happening. I got to check eCam's not responding. So let me log out and log in. Let's see if this is going to be terrible or not. Let's try it. Yo, it's working now. That was insane. That was insane. Old school restart. But I am though impressed that the restart allows you to start where you were. That's kind of sick. So I'm not going to complain too much about the streaming software, but I might find like a different one because I've been running into a lot of issues with this and it's just been really, really frustrating for me. So I need to kind of figure out like maybe a better solution, but it's okay. We're back. We're back. We're doing our thing. Lost all of our 2 viewers that we had, which is all right. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to continue. And let me share back my screen. I was saying earlier, you could buy me coffee. Now I'm saying don't buy me coffee. These are obviously really unprofessional streams. Forget I even said anything. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. 16 people. Jeez, that's amazing. I love all of you. Thank you so much for jumping in. But yeah, if you do want to, like, as a joke, I'm doing this thing on my buy me coffee. This is dumb. And again, if you don't have any like extra money, definitely don't send me money ever. If you, for some reason, want to monetary support me, and I so far made $6, like, you could use this buy me coffee thing that I have. If you scan that thing, I'll take you there. To be honest, I'm trying to do like a really stupid experiment to see what it takes to buy a Lamborghini Diablo based on donations. Would it take 100 years? Would it take, you know, would it take more than 100 years? The goal, see more memberships, whatever. I don't know. Oh, okay. This is the funny thing I want to show you. Again, don't support me money. I'm doing this for anybody that for some reason you win a lotto and you want to support, but I'm doing this stupid thing for a wish list. I put, this is a joke, obviously. This is a joke, obviously. Don't ever, but the point is, I don't even know how much one costs, but can this be achieved in 100 years? So can you buy a Lamborghini Diablo via buy me coffee donations? The short answer is no. The short answer, no. By the way, Web Dev Junkie is here. Yeah, something's broken about my computer, but Web Dev Junkie just released an amazing video. He has amazing channel. If you're not subscribed to Web Dev Junkie, this is another cool part, by the way. Web Dev, he created my advice to becoming a web developer in 2023. Go watch this video. It's really, 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 really good. One thing I was going to say, somebody says, Paul, you don't have a Discord server. What the hell's wrong with you? And they said, Web Dev Junkie has a Discord channel. I'm going to go join that instead. And you know what? You all should. Go join the Web Dev Junkie Discord channel. It is popping. He's really hands-on. He has like really amazing community. So I don't like Discord. I'm sorry, everybody. We have my own version of community that I'm working on that you could join. But go, Web Dev Junkie has an amazing channel, way more popular than my channel, by the way. Does really good videos. What I like is his breakdowns of, you know, doing, interview questions or junior React, like interview questions. He does a lot of great content. And I'd love to do another stream with you. We had so much fun, like building a project together. Also, you know what would be cool to do? Cody, I've been really looking into ChatGPT 3. It'll be cool to build a project. Maybe you could use like Remix, or you could use Next.js, whatever you want, or just do it with Node. Build something like our own prompter thing. Maybe make it specific to coding or something. Maybe that'll be like a cool project to build. Yeah, but I don't know. Like my streaming software has been acting up. I have to get to the bottom of it. But anyway, go check out the channel. So on today's channel, on today's stream, what we were talking about, this idea is that I started a project willy-nilly, right? And yeah, I made progress. I made stuff happen. It might have been me too, and maybe it just coincided with you reopening and closing. But I don't know if you heard me say about coming onto your channel. Like, I had so much fun. We should do another project together. I was thinking of doing something with ChatGPT 3 and creating our own like prompter using the API. We could use Node.js or Remix or Next, whatever. I think that'll be like a cool project to do. But anyway, what I was talking about, like I started building my project willy-nilly and not really thinking about planning anything. And so I made some progress, right? It kind of works. You're able to log in, right? You could log in like with GitHub, whatever. You know, you're able to pin and unpin projects. You're able to see projects you're following. You know, you're able to like follow projects. But the point is that like, you know, like I just unfollowed these projects. You could see that, oh, look, you're no longer following any projects. So it is working. You could add tasks on projects, right? You have notes, requested and implemented. You could even do comments, you know, whatever. So it's taking shape. But because I didn't plan this project, I made some like decisions that I went back on or changed. So now I'm going to have to refactor a bunch of my code. So the whole lesson, and the reason why my code is a mess is because I didn't plan. So even not planning too hardcore, but too seriously, it's like give yourself a general outline of what you want to achieve, what you want to do. So we have this general idea of building a community to help aspiring developers share projects, collaborate, and grow their skills through coding and resource sharing. And so January goals, obviously I made a huge mess. So I identify basic requirements, and to prevent like scope creep, I'm like, this is all I'm going to stick to until I get this done. And so here's the thing we should do. We should have a landing page, which is our index page. We should be able to see people's public projects. We should be able to log in, sign up to the page. You should be able to sign up via GitHub. We need a dashboard view, project detail view, create project view, profile page. This is some of it. And then we basically kind of laid out via cards, like what pages we need. Index page, project page. Project page should lead to project detail page, which you have login page, which you have a dashboard. We should have index page will be our landing page. We should also have a menu. And our menu for now will have a, this should be index page. Our menu, I actually never finished this. Our menu should have link to login and link to projects and dashboard if logged in, dashboard if logged in, right? And so very basic. So what I'm saying, again, it doesn't have to be like this. Maybe you have a better way of planning, but the point that I wanted to say here is that what you need to do is you need to, before you code, plan out your project so you have some general idea. I even planned out in the most basic sense, what should the data look like? User data, project data, you know, project data should have relationship to user, relationship to user. And so in the most basic sense, and I'm not saying that what you plan can't change, but if you have a plan, you'll be way better at building your project, and you're not going to end up with where I did, where yeah, I somewhat have a working project with some functionality, but it's literally like, you know, it's a mess because I didn't plan it to make it. I like literally planned it wherever wind decided me to take me. And so now what I'm going to do is go back, refactor, and start planning my sprint, start planning what I need to do in order to make that happen. So yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about this stream. I'm not going to make it too long today, and I do have to figure out why my thing is breaking. And by the way, if you all have any questions, definitely let me know. Let's do like some Q&A if you like. And if you didn't smash the like button, you don't have to smash it for me. You can smash it for all the cool folks here. Fantastic. I smashed my own like button. That is brilliant. And so if you have any questions, let me know. But the whole idea that I wanted to talk about today is this concept of take the time and plan out your project. Any planning is way better than no planning. So if you're jumping into your code editor and you're starting to code, you got to stop. You got to stop doing that. You know what I mean? And so, and I'm literally saying to myself, I got to stop doing that. What I need to do is I need to focus on basically planning the things that I want to do first, making sure I have an idea of what I'm doing, from the layout, from the way the site works, how the backend is going to function, how the data structure for the content stuff is going to look like. That'll be cool. Web Dev Junkie, this is funny. He said, funny, I just made a video on the complete opposite of planning strategy. By the way, I seen you in past videos have beautiful diagrams where you plan the flow of your project. So I'm gonna have to watch that video and see what you talk about in it, because I've seen you before have very good idea of what you're gonna build before building it, Cody. But yeah, I'm gonna have to check out that video. But yeah, if you haven't watched, obviously Cody's channel is huger than mine. But if you've never heard of Cody from Web Dev Junkie, go check him out. And if you were to join the Discord, where there's actual people that are interested in development and talk development stuff instead of stupid stuff like Discord does, Web Dev Junkie's Discord server is great. If you want, you could throw the link to your Discord channel here, Cody, if you like. Yeah, great stuff. Subscribe to this channel. You could find the link there as well. But yeah, I just want to talk about planning. If you all have questions, it's the time to ask them now, because I got a bunch of planning to do. I had a spare part PC and I wanted to get into Linux for whatever reason, I don't know. And so I'm going to install Ubuntu Linux. I was thinking Mint Linux, but I'm going to go Ubuntu. And the reason why I wanted to do it, just I wanted to build a server from scratch to kind of like look at what the process of deploying stuff to a server is, and like just start small, play around with, and kind of understand how to deploy it to my own server. And then I think like at a certain point, once you get fairly comfortable with coding, I'm not at that point yet, I'm getting there, but this idea is to start to dive into like DevOps and being familiar with some of the common like deployment options, if it's Google, if it's AWS, and kind of having your way around it. And that's what I was playing. But if you have to ask about a video game, I got a mod how to play Cyberpunk 2077 in VR. It breaks my computer. It looks like a slideshow because my graphics card can't handle it because it's so crazy. But VR in like Cyberpunk 2077 in VR is so phenomenal. And then I've also got a modded out Fallout 4 and Skyrim in VR. It's insane. Like VR has been my thing. I love VR, and I want to at some point build some VR stuff. But yeah, that's awesome. And then for Web Dev, Junkie had a question. He said, "Did you do anything fun for the holidays?" Just ate, hung out with family and friends, talked to my daughter. It was long distance because she's in Japan, but she just came back from tour because she's in the Navy. She goes back on tour in a couple of months, so I want to see. Not a couple of months, but like in 4 months, she goes back on tour for another 6 months. So I want to see if I could travel to Japan at some point before that. That'll be awesome. But yeah, holidays were awesome. I hope everybody else had like amazing holidays. But yeah, to me, for 2023, so I know I talk a lot about like when should you learn algorithms and data structures and stuff like this. I definitely don't think you should be learning algorithms and data structures until you know how to build things. Like, I think you should learn how to build things. You should be comfortable about it. You should build projects. You should have a portfolio with 2 to 3 projects. One of them should be pretty decent, where you have a front end you have a backend, even if it's not backend you created yourself, like you used someone else's API, you use the CMS, but you show like some CRUD functionality and some authentication logic. I think that's important. You should be familiar with that stuff. You should be familiar with like asynchronous JavaScript, being able to talk to an API and using promises or async await. And you should be familiar with that. And then you should be just interviewing and getting a job. But I've been coding for a while, and I'm getting to a point where now, like, I'm at a point where it's like I should probably start diving into algorithms, data structures. So moving forward for 2024 or 23, whatever year this is, I don't know. I want to basically focus on TypeScript because I suck at TypeScript. Like, I know zero TypeScript. And I want to focus on getting better at algorithms and data structures. And I'm really excited about AI. And so outside of Dev Hunt, I'm going to keep Dev Hunt as my main project that I'm going to talk about. All my other projects, side projects that I'm going to do, like my requirement is that they have to do something with AI, because I think we need to embrace it and we need to learn these tools and see, can we create cool tools for developers using existing AI that could help us do our jobs faster or quicker. So that's kind of what I'm excited about. And that's my plan. And obviously, release more videos on this channel and stuff like that. I think it'll be really fun. By the way, if you all in the chat play video games, let me know what games you play, what games you've been enjoying, which games you've been hating on, what's been happening. That's cool. Yeah. Man, I'm so upset that my streaming software crashed. I like it, but if it becomes like a consistent thing, I might have to switch to something else, which I'm not excited about because I really like the one I'm using, but it is what it is. Man, StarCraft 2 is an awesome game. Yeah, that's another one. So addicting, though. So addicting. Also, speaking of those type of games, you know which game you should never play? Factorio. Factorio is the most addicting game I ever played. And literally, if you download it, you could find it on Steam. If you download Factorio because you watch the stream and all of a sudden, like, you get nothing done, do not blame me. I'm just telling you right now, do not blame me. It's not my fault. But Factorio is super awesome game, and it's all about optimization. You start with a shovel, and using a shovel is just so time consuming and stupid. And so your goal is to build machines to and optimize like the process, so where literally it runs itself. Satisfactory. That's another one. I haven't tried it yet. Satisfactory. Yeah, this is another one. Yeah, I'm going to get it. Maybe I get it this weekend. This is another one I want to try. And this one is awesome because it's in first person. Yeah, exactly. Basically, so he said, have you tried Victoria yet? Satisfactory. It's basically Factorial in 3D. And I'm definitely going to try it because I'm pretty sure somebody probably made a VR mod, and playing that game in VR is going to blow. Like, I've been on this VR bandwagon. I know VR died. I know people don't care about VR, but for me, man, being in the 3D world like Cyberpunk or Skyrim, or I'm going to try if Satisfactory has a VR mod. That's something I'm going to try too. But yeah, that's cool. Cool recommendations. So yeah, I'm going to check it out. Definitely cool stuff. And if nobody else has any questions, we could call it a night. I appreciate all of you that stop on by. Again, if you, for whatever reason, don't know Cody from Web Dev Junkie, go check out, subscribe to his channel. He makes amazing content. There's a lot of YouTubers out there, but for me, I think the best thing you could do, like, listen, I'm just going to say something that people are going to be like, that's messed up, Paul, you said it. There's a lot of YouTubers out there. They're YouTubers. So there's nothing wrong with that, but they're not going to help you. Yeah, Cody, you should try VR. They're not going to help you to get to where you want to go faster, because they're creating content for YouTube, stuff that's exciting to watch, entertaining, which is cool, but it's not helpful. So what I want is, I want people to watch content like Web Dev Junkie. I'm trying to make content like that, a type of content where it's a person is a developer first and they just happen to be doing YouTube as well. And they're doing stuff that's relevant to you becoming a better programmer rather than making motivational videos that are exciting and fun, which are entertaining. I get it. Like my favorite YouTuber is Dorian. He has amazing content, but no, like, but it's motivational. That's all it is. And I love him. But watching his content, like it's fun, it's awesome. You get a lot of motivation. But in terms of like learning or actual things that you need to do to dive into, because you really, like, as a developer, you need to be diving into the code, you need to be programming, you need to be doing stuff, you need to be struggling, and you need to have absorb as much material as you can where it's related more to actual coding and code specific, where whatever you watch, like, you're doing it in the code editor, you're trying things out, you're failing, you're troubleshooting. If you're not doing that, you're really not going to get to where you want to go. And this is why, like, I do these live streams. So I force myself to at least have one night, like, I code every day, by the way, but I want to publicly show that you should not be afraid of coding, even if you're breaking stuff and you're suffering. No pain, no gain. Exactly, Alex. And so this is why I love Web Dev Junkie's channels, because his channel is all about actual code. Like, it's literally, look at his stuff, like, it's code related. It's amazing. And so definitely follow. One thing I started doing, if you want a pro tip, 15, 20 minutes before sleep, and I don't know if it's a good idea, I'll study some, either read a coding book, I'll look at some code, I'll watch some Udemy tutorials, or I think about code. So what I wanted to do the last 10, 15 minutes before sleep, wanted to be code related. So, like, I read a book where if you study, you should take a nap, because it will help you to make sense of the things that you learn, and it'll help you to remember them better. So I've been doing that. I don't know if it's a good idea. You probably shouldn't have any iPad time before sleep, but that's something I've been doing, to every day basically code and every day study code. Like, even if it's for 15 minutes a day, make it consistent. You need it. And no, it's not enough time to learn to code, by the way, 100% true, but it's 20 minutes at the end of the day that I'm doing on top of everything that I did. And it's been actually really, really helpful. So with that being said, tomorrow I'm streaming about my web dev roadmap for 2023. Like, everybody's making those videos, like Web Dev Junkie said in his video. So I'm going to do my own take. Basically, I'm going to talk about what I think I would have learned if I were to do it again. Things change. I think TypeScript now plays like a big part. And I think everybody now needs to learn TypeScript. So I am going to talk about that tomorrow at 11 a.m. CST. But until then, thank you so much for joining. Again, Coding After 30. I stream Fridays and Saturdays, 9 p.m. CST time. So tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. CST time. You don't have to subscribe if you don't like. It's fine. My feelings are not hurt. This has been Coffee Code and Chat. And I will see everybody later. Have a good night. Take care. I'm going to take my pretend Ferrari out of here. I'm driving home right now. Look at me go. Coffee Code and Chat 24/7. Represent. Love you all. Take care and goodbye.